Hello, friends. Thank you so much for tuning into our session. As always, I get promising notes at your end. And this time as well, a very special and a promising guest, as always, in Amplify with Amrina. What can I say about him? My goodness. Music producer, engineer, songwriter based in Dubai. Above all, I can more say about his work is that he believes in transparency of music when you create it to actually beat the floor like anything. You know, landscape the music scenes in Dubai. He has done so many things about it. And above all, Rayan's journey from studying commercial and industrial biotechnology in Newcastle to becoming a producer in Dubai. It's not that easy to stand on that field, because music is all about connecting with the soul. So Rayan's policy is basically a little different when it comes to music. Sound variations, tapping, and much more. So let us hear from this young gentleman all the way from Dubai in my session, Rayan Bailouni. Please put your hands together to welcome him. Thank you, Rayan. How are you doing? Salam alaikum.
Thank you, Armina. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. That's fantastic. Thank
I
you so
tried my
much.
best, but you deserve more than this, my dear.
Oh, that's
Honestly,
so kind
telling
of
you.
you. No, thank you so much. That was brilliant.
Thanks, my dear. Yeah, tell me about your journey and you started, and then uh, why into this field in particular. And then I know it's so challenging, but it's still, you tried your best, and still you are sailing so confidently. And mashallah, tabarakallah, your music is amazing. Trust me.
Thank you so much. No,
My pleasure.
no, alhamdulillah, I have to say that I had obviously a very balanced and healthy upbringing, alhamdulillah. But I think above all, um, when I was younger, I was raised for almost 18, 19 years in Abu Dhabi at the time. And this was in the late 90s, early 2000s by the time I finished high school. And throughout my time in high school, I was always, playing instruments, listening to music. All of us, we used to listen to like Channel V,
Yes,
MTV, all
yes,
that
we
stuff.
do, we do.
So the television was like our iPhone or Spotify or Apple Music today. And the television was how we found music. So yeah, I was in lots of different bands, and I went to record at a couple of studios, and I thought like, I really want to do this. I really love making music. One, two, three, four, five. And then when I spoke to my parents, which is obviously not their fault, but at the time I was a lot more upset than maybe now. I told them that I wanted to do music, and they said to me, like, we don't understand how you're going to make a career out of this. But even at that time, it was completely different to now. And, my parents don't know anything about the music industry. So if you don't know about something, then you would fear it, right? Because you fear the unknown. So they said to me, I think it's better you do something instead that's a plan A. And then you can always leave music as a plan B if plan A fails. And I said, okay,
Oh,
fine. So I didn't know what to study because I never wanted to study. So I just chose a degree in whatever I was highest in my diploma, my school diploma, which was
uh-huh,
biology and chemistry.
uh-huh,
So I studied biotechnology, and then I did my master's, both well, bachelor's and both my masters. And then after the 7, 8 years of doing biotech, when I finally finished and I saw my family again, they're like, "So what do you want to do? Are you gonna get a job?" I said, "I think I want to do music." They said, "Still, we're still on the music." I said, "No, I still want to do the music." And then they said, "Get a job, get some work experience. It's very important." Okay, so I worked in a pharmaceutical company. I got 3, 4 years experience, and then I quit my job. Actually, when I went in the morning that I quit my job, I didn't know I was going to quit. I had enough. Subhanallah, I walked in. I was actually having a coffee for lunch. I was working at like during my lunch break, and then I thought, why am I here? And I just went and I quit. I didn't think about it. I didn't do the pros. You need to find another job. Apply. I just said, I don't know what I want to do, but I know what I don't want to do, you know? So I went in, I quit my job. And then my father asked me, so what are you going to do? I said, I think the music thing. He said, I don't believe it. We're still on this music. I said, look, I did the 7 years. I did the 4 years. It's 11 years now. I paid my time. That's it. I'm going to try it.
wow.
Um, so at the time, I didn't know anything about the music industry. Only I had like a small band. We were doing releasing here and there. So I took maybe about a year, unemployed, learning from like YouTube, learning from friends how to produce, how to like enhance my music skills, like that.
Okay.
And then I moved to Dubai one time just for like, well, I didn't move to Dubai. I was visiting Dubai, and one of my friends says you can open a company. And then that was the one of the light bulbs. I thought, you know what?
Wow.
I can just open a company here. I can be a producer. And I came to Dubai about 5 years ago. And the first 2 years were very difficult because you're a nobody. Nobody wants to work with you. You know, you have to convince people you are
Yes,
good,
yes,
but you
yes,
can't be good unless you have experience. So it's
yes.
like, catch 22. And then I would say maybe from the third year, it started getting a lot better. And then, alhamdulillah, now it's been 5 years, and I've been very, very, very lucky and fortunate to work with like
MashaAllah.
X Factor winners, The Voice winners, people
Yes,
from America, Germany, Saudi, Australia,
yes, yes. True,
loads of
true.
different countries. So yeah, that's pretty much been my journey to the way here. It's not the most crazy story, but I feel like it's a story a lot of people from this part of the world, maybe coming from school and university, will connect with, because they'll understand
Yes,
it's
of
not very
course they
different to my
will.
story.
Yes, of course, of course. Because Rayan, if I'm not mistaken, you have been set as a math scientist, of the UAE music scene. Can you just share a light for that? Because it sounds so interesting to know
Well, I
someone.
think, yeah, I think that was I believe it was Marwa from the Gulf News that said that. So shout out to Marwa. But she said, the mad scientist of Dubai's music scene. I think it's because everyone maybe that knows me well enough knows that I used to be some sort of scientist. So they're like, this guy must be crazy because some of the beats that he makes must be crazy. So they gave me the name the Mad Scientist. So maybe
Wow.
I'm a Batman villain, or I'll be in the next Marvel movie or something.
So
Yeah.
nice, because I believe on Instagram Beat Lab has actually treasured a lot more into people's mind, and that has trove of sonic inspiration. I just want you to shed a light about that, because it sounds so interesting to me when I was actually going through your profile. And the what is Beat Lab all about?
It's a very simple concept. It was actually by the help of my fiance. She was the one that encouraged me to
Oh,
do it.
how sweet. Okay.
God bless her. So we were just having dinner one night and talking about different things, because I had tried a couple of other like initiatives and they weren't really working, or like the people were responding, but I wasn't experiencing any growth or more followers or fans or anything.
Uh-huh.
And just the idea of Beat Lab, and the Beat Lab is because there's just a lot of terminology that a lot of people around the world use for like making beats these days. So a lot of people will say, I'm in the lab cooking, cooking a
Yes.
new beat. And then some people are like, oh, I'm making beats, I'm making beats. And then obviously with my master's in biotech, I spent almost 9 to 10 months a year in the lab. So I was like, oh, it's kind of funny because I can make it like mad scientist, laboratory. I'm in the lab making beats. So I put them all together and I called it Beat Lab. And it's basically a weekly video that I did for the whole year, where every Sunday I posted a video of a beat that I made that week, explaining what I'm trying to do. But mainly it's about mixing different ideas together and trying new like combinations of music. Um, but it's more like detailed. It's not like I'm mixing, for example, like Russian music with English music. Like it's not to do with like countries. It's more to do with like, I took a violin and I tried to make it mix with this type of music, and I tried to use some Turkish
Wow.
singer with hip hop or whatever. But it's more about how maybe you wouldn't hear those sounds together if you were just listening. You wouldn't know that they're mixed. So it's just also like a bit of
Okay.
awareness. Yeah. So and
Oh.
alhamdulillah, in the first like 15, 20 episodes, I think I just released my 30th Beat Lab. So I'm on this next week will be Beat Lab 31. And in the 30, alhamdulillah, I've so many people from around the world, a lot of superstars would
Yes.
message me on Instagram, and they were like, I see what you're doing, keep going, it's amazing, or I really love this one, or they want to buy it. So it's been a very exciting time. I think like Beat Lab. I think now a lot of people know me as the Beat Lab guy. I don't know. Maybe
Yes, yes. I
inshallah,
was about
maybe,
to say that to you.
yeah, maybe people will know me as something else later on. Let's see. But for now, the Beat Lab is okay.
The V-Lab is okay. It's going cool. How do you
It's okay
feel
for now.
to? Yes, so true. How do you feel to be, so young producer, just 32 years age, I believe. You know,
Hmm.
Syrian Britisher you are, and then how do you take this? Like, because it's just like, when people see your appearance is like, all the hair are back, and you have tied up your hair, and then naturally your fingers are always tapping on, getting a new type of illusion from the music, and satisfying all the viewers, whoever is listening, because getting original beat, it's just not that easy task as everyone can
Hmm.
think about it. So can you just shed a light on this? uh, what is that one thing which actually carries you so well, and what is that one thing which motivates you all the time? Because we humans go through a lot of phases in life, ups and downs, and sometimes like setbacks, sometimes negativity, and there are a lot of people who would just come up and just say anything about this. So how do you manage to be so much in such a nice scale, and above all, and then again doing your work so passionately, and then ruling so many hearts?
I, it's a great question. I think one of the things that
Thank you.
I think has always kept me um, in love with music. Obviously, people love music in different ways, but I think one of the main things that I love about music is that it's there's it's sort of like it's like an invisible, intangible way when you hear something and it really connects with you. It feels
Yes.
very real. Your senses make it very real. It will either take you to a memory, it's going to take you to a feeling. You might remember someone, you might even just feel something you've never felt before. And I think um, I guess I'm always searching for another one of those feelings. And I feel like it's a little bit like uh, I just have to put certain things together, and I might hear something that like just makes me feel one of those things. But the feeling that I can get from just putting sounds together, it's it's a beautiful thing for me. So I think that's what keeps me going, because sometimes even when I'm working with an artist, even if it's like not my material, even working with somebody else,
Okay.
um, it can just be a lyric, it can be a line, it can be just maybe one piano chord that changes everything, and then you get the goosebumps, or you get the hairs they stand,
Yes.
and then you go like, that's real, like this is real. It's
Yes.
a lot of people say the word like it's magic. I don't really like the word magic, because magic means like it's an illusion, or it's not real, or it's like a trick of some kind. But like
Yes.
it's a very real feeling, and I think that's the difference between good music and great music. Is good
Yes.
music you will enjoy, great music you'll feel, you know.
True.
So yeah, that's probably the biggest one for me, and that's why I like so many different types of music, because I can listen to music that will remind me of maybe how angry I am about something, and then music that makes me miss somebody, and maybe music that tells me that I can have a good time. So like, it's a language.
Yes, true. Very, very, very well said, actually, Rayan. I mean, this is the best quote from your side. It's actually, it's a kind of a language which connects any viewers who is listening to you. And I believe you already got one of the very good comment from a great rapper, Russ, who said that
Yes.
great minds think. Just say that, say something about that. How this has happened, and how was the feeling when you got to know this? Because
Yeah, very very funny moment, honestly, because I actually, so I was, which I shouldn't be doing, and I got in trouble from my fiance because I shouldn't be still awake at 9 a.m. in the morning, but I was working, and I had awake through the night,
okay,
and I think it was like 8:30 in the morning,
uh
nine
huh,
o'clock in the morning, and I'm working. I was actually sat right here, and I'm working, and then I saw my phone light come on for a notification on Instagram. So I looked, and it says Russ has commented on your video.
Wow.
So at first, I thought it was RUSSS, and I thought it's a fake account pretending to be Russ.
To be
So I said,
okay.
that's probably not him. So as I'm working for like maybe 5 minutes, I thought in my mind, I'm like, Muhammad, like maybe it is him. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, no, you should check it. And I'm like, no, later. And I'm fighting myself. And then after 5 minutes, I'm like, let me open it. And when I saw it, I was like, what? So yeah, so it was for I think Beat Lab number 11, where I used a sample of Brandy's song "The Boy Is Mine," and
Mm-hmm.
he left a message saying something like great choice. I also made a beat using this sample. Very well done, or something like that. So so then ever since, I was so happy. I was like messaging all my friends. I was like, look who just commented, man, this is crazy. So and that was during the COVID lockdown, so it was like a good boost.
Yes,
But
yes, of course.
yeah, it was a crazy moment for sure.
Naturally, I mean, just imagine all the way you got a message. You're like, it's
Yeah,
a
I mean, there's been a couple of crazy stories like that. I mean, one time, so one of a long time ago, the rapper Eminem, he used to be
yes.
in a band called, or a group called D12, and one of the guys from D12 DM'd me, and he said to me, he's like, "Man, your beats are incredible. Keep going. We're all listening to them and checking them out." And I'm like, "Who's this?" And then I realized, I'm like, "Wait, he's on he's going around the world with Eminem. Does he mean, oh my God?" Like, so lots of these very weird stories have happened where I go like, that's crazy, like I'm just working and then I just see a message. So yeah, I mean, alhamdulillah, it's been a good ride so far, alhamdulillah.
Yes. And how's the reaction of your parents after you being on such um a well-known personality now? Naturally, people would love to meet you. And viewers, I would want to tell you, it's not that easy to get in touch with Rayan. He's a very simple and a kind-hearted gentleman, but I've been trying to get him on board from past almost, like I can say, 3 to 4 weeks or more than that. So uh, it's his simplicity that he has given me time, and so nice of him. And may
No,
Almighty
of
give him
course.
more barakah and prosperity, inshallah, in everything he
Allah
does.
Salmek.
Thank you so much. So tell me this: after you did all that what you want, and then what was the reaction of your parents?
um I mean, obviously, I think they support whatever makes me happy, right? But I think, yeah, and with full transparency, I think my dad still doesn't understand it. He's not like he's supportive, but he said, if that's gonna help you, get married and raise a family and be happy, then so be it. But my mom has been a much bigger influence on my musical journey, because even from when I was young, she would play me all these like great, you know, old 70s 80s songs. And she was the one that was telling me, this is real music, this is real music, this is a real singer, this is. So now that I'm doing music, she checks out every single song that I have. She shares it with all my family in the
Oh, how
UK. Yeah,
sweet.
she loves it, and she supports all the other artists that I work with. She messages them, very well done, you did very good. So
Oh,
so
so
yeah, so
sweet.
so I they're both supportive in different ways, alhamdulillah.
Oh, that's great. See, every musician or every music composer or whoever is uh, working on music, they have their personal liking towards a particular instrument. In your
Mhm.
case, which is that one instrument you think that, you can do so many wonders with that? For an example, like a chef, they have a particular, ingredient, which a chef
You're
think,
right.
if I put this, I'm going to do wonders on my cuisine or something, on my
As long as
dish.
it's not ketchup, he's a good chef. Um,
Oh my God, that
uh,
was a good
yeah,
one.
yeah. I would say that. So I mean, I think the obvious answer would be guitar, because it's the instrument I play the best. But I would say that the instrument that I connect with the most is probably the drums. And I think because maybe being in Abu Dhabi in the 90s and 2000s, you can't raise a family and one of your children is playing drums in an apartment, because the
Mm.
whole building will complain. So I had to find another instrument that I can play that's not so noisy. So the only one I could play where no one outside of my room will hear me is the guitar. So so I think I use guitar as a way to play drums rather than I wanted to play guitar because I like guitar. So it's a strange one.
Oh,
So a lot of guitarists
okay.
that see me play guitar, they say you play guitar like a drummer. You don't play guitar like a guitarist. So yeah, it's a bit weird. Not the technique, but just the type of guitar that I write. It's a lot more to do with like the melody and the rhythm. It's not to do with like the, you know, the typical guitar. Yeah, so I think that's why I started doing the drum machine, because I'm like, finally I have something where I can play the drums, you know?
Yes, yes, true,
Yeah.
true. See, as you said, Rayan, in your previous conversation, you said it's music is a language connecting
Hmm.
different souls or different religions or different countries, whatever.
Hmm.
But as such, what do you think about music? Because many people have different notions about music when it comes. Uh, they think it's just a matter of enjoyment. It's just a matter of listening. Okay, fine. It's just a matter of time pass or just like stress relief. Is many things, but I want you to give a little philosophical answer in this matter so that, uh,
Sure.
Rayan speaking out so that it'll be
No,
like,
no, I mean, no, I mean, there, I think it's a question that I think I had to answer this question for myself before I started my journey, because if this question is left unanswered within you, when you continue to do something, it's very hard because you're fighting yourself, because there's a hole that you don't know how to answer, and it will start to, you know, get bigger and bigger with more time. And I think the best way I can answer this question is, you know, alhamdulillah, I come from a very spiritual and like religious family, you know, like we all have very strong faith, alhamdulillah. So um, there's so many different views on music in general, in
mm,
society, in religion, in culture, in different countries. I think for me, um, when some people say to me that music is not a real job, or it's not a real thing, it's not something you should do your whole life, or it's like a pastime, like you said, or a hobby, I think I understand where this um, understanding comes from, and I agree with it to a degree. So if me and a bunch of my friends were left on an island and there's nothing, literally sand and water and trees, and we have to start a community, and we have to start a city, and we have to, you know, raise a town, you know, we don't need musicians, because it's not going to help me educate the children, it's not going to help me heal the sick, it's not going to help me give people their rights, and you know, so it's not a primary job for society or community. We don't need it. Like, if I did not have any musicians, I can still build a very functional city and community. I need the teachers, I need the doctors, I need the lawyers, I need the scientists, I need those people, because they're the people that will help keep all the other people in my town safe and healthy and smart and etc. I think music comes in after that. So I think when you are in a place that you have the doctors and you have the mathematicians and the teachers and the lawyers and the bankers and all that, those jobs are very hard. They're very, very, very difficult to do. It's not easy. You know, I mean, I worked in the pharma industry. You know, sometimes doctors reach the point where they see so many people a day. A person is like a number. They It's so much. You know, like if you saw so much suffering every day, you
yes,
don't you it's very hard to connect fully with every person every 20 minutes. It's not possible. The human
yes,
mind cannot work like that. So he may become demotivated. He might start to lose his I don't want to say it, but like his touch, his
senses,
human touch,
attach, yes,
you know, his human touch to people. And he may drive home in the car on the way back, and someone may sing a song about losing their mother or losing their father, or how their best friend got sick, or how they recovered from something and they became stronger. And it may move the doctor in his soul, where he goes, you know, tomorrow I should remind myself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I have to remember that's how some of those people feel, scared or sad or upset. So I think an artist's job is to remind other human beings of human emotions. What
Wow.
what human emotions you remind, that's your niyyah. That's up to you what you want to do. If
True.
somebody wants to remind you of bad emotions and bad, that it falls under niyyah for me. But I feel that's where it's a very easy line to draw from music. So if you feel that you want to do music, you just decide for yourself first, what emotions do I want to remind people of? If they're bad emotions, then it makes no difference if it's music or it's medical or law. If you want to do bad things, you're going to do bad things. The tool is not going to matter. But and I'm sure there are people that do music for the good reasons or good emotions, and there are people that do music for the bad emotions, and then it's up to you. It's up to you and your niyyah. But I feel that music in general is to remind other human beings of human emotions, and if you
Wow.
can do that, you're successful. Yeah, I hope that was a
Brilliant.
clear answer.
That
Yeah.
was the answer was in fact very mesmerizing, because the kind of flow which you took it, like, giving an example, you're in an island, and then, because I wanted this question to be answered by you many a times when I actually call on people who are into music, who are into dance, who are into so many artistic things, because I personally feel art itself is such a creative thing to get connected with so many people around the world. Automatically, see, Rayan, I don't know you, I haven't met you in my life, but that kind of music which you generated, and plus your journey, forced me to let you get on board and let the viewers know how you've been doing. And it's not that easy, whatever job you're doing. I mean, whoever is doing their best, they're putting their efforts, it's something phenomenal from their side. So you have to appreciate every soul. I personally feel that every person is special in the eyes of Almighty, and every person has got
Alhamdulillah.
best qualities in them. That's so nice. Really, the
Yeah, and I think what you said there is the most important thing. I think artists sometimes, have to remember that you serve the people that are working. The people don't serve you. So,
Yes.
like when I'm making any type of music, I think like, what is this going to do for the doctor, the lawyer, the businessman, the mother at home, or the working fiance, or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yes, yes.
And there are some people where you know they their job feels like a hobby to them because they feel so passionately about it.
Yes, yes,
And I
yes.
think that's one of the reasons I left the pharmaceutical, because I'm like, it's actually unfair that I'm taking a salary for a job that I don't really have any passion for. And there are people that would literally, they would die to have this job, and I'm blocking that way just because it pays me money, when
Subhanallah.
I'm like, money doesn't mean a lot to me. I can find money elsewhere. Money is like money is a little bit like air, like it comes and it goes.
Yes, it
It's
just comes and goes.
out
Yes.
and out all the time. So like
Yes.
you'll find it somewhere. But the important thing is, what are you doing for the money? The money is it's a result. It's going to happen either way. But if whatever you're doing for that money or whatever it is like, not you're not passionate about, you will feel like you're fighting yourself. so
Yes.
so I actually have no problem when I hear people telling me that they do it as a pastime and a hobby, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's, if I hear a doctor is playing guitar to de-stress at home, I'm like, that's amazing, that's fantastic. But maybe
Yes.
the doctor will listen to one of my songs and be like, I want to learn how to play that song because it relaxes me. I
Yes.
did my job. I did my job. So you can have an effect um in ways that sometimes you can't measure. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Very well said. You just can't measure that. That feeling you will get automatically when people start liking your work and they appreciate your work, and plus they want to be like you. They want to be like, oh, we wish we can do something like you. So, Rayan, tell me this. You create music, and every now and then different beats, different music, different variations, different sounds. Did any time you feel like, oh, I didn't do that well, I would have done something more to this after releasing the beats? Did any
ah
time it has happened?
um I think. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely happened a few times. I'm trying to think of a couple of specific examples, but I think sometimes, I've put out music. I'm talking about music that I've done for myself. So any of the beat labs, for example, like sometimes, I've put out a beat lab, and I think deep down inside, I know that the majority of the people will not like this beat lab, but I I'm not trying to be like insensitive, but like I don't really care too much about that because I know that maybe the last three beat labs they loved. But this new beat lab for me is actually for a very specific bunch of my followers or the people that know me. Maybe this is actually more for the musicians or more for the artists because it's more technical, or so maybe the beat might not be as interesting, but someone who knows the technical side, they're like, wow, this is actually very interesting, and then they want to try something. But maybe the general population are like, it's okay. And sometimes I think like, oh, should I do that? But then another side of me goes, no, it's good to be diverse and have different options and try different things. So yeah, sometimes I felt like that. But it's like, but I think that's the beautiful side of art, really.
Yes, I was
If
about to
every
say that
yeah,
to you.
if
Brilliant,
everybody
brilliant.
likes, yeah, if everybody likes something, I mean, I think so, and I think this is something I like to tell a lot of people. If somebody comes up to an artist or me or whoever, and they say, I heard your song, man, and it's garbage. Yeah, it belongs in the garbage. It's trash. I love that. All right. And then
Wow.
I think the biggest insult to me as an artist is when someone says, yeah, I heard your song. Yeah, because I did not get any emotion out of you. So if my job is to remind people of human emotion, and I
Okay.
got no emotion, it meant all of that work, the time making it, mixing it, producing it, releasing it, whatever, was for nothing.
Wow, bravo.
I did not even get an emotion. But if someone said to me, I hate it, it's the worst, that for me is better than nothing, because that person, for sure, because life is, alhamdulillah, everything in life is balanced, right? So for every one person that hates it, there will be another that loves it.
Yes.
And the guy that hates it, and I know this for a fact, I've seen it with my own eyes. Someone goes, Amrina, did you see Rayan's beat lab? It's rubbish. Wait. And he will show it to you. And when he
Yes.
shows it to you,
Yes, and I
you
will
listen to it
like
and
it.
you go, I like it.
Wow,
So
so well said,
so
Rayan. So nice.
yeah, so it's
Brilliant.
actually, emotion is the biggest compliment an artist can get. You shouldn't care what emotion. Even if someone says to me, I loved it, it's incredible, I'm like, that's as equal to me as the person that hates it, because that person will show it to someone and he goes, I hate it. So it's like, it's balanced. But I think
Subhanallah,
the
yes.
worst, yeah, the worst is when someone goes, yeah, like, I cannot even get that out of you. Even that I did not get. So that for me
Wow.
is like, for me, that's when I failed. I'm like, I could not even get the emotion,
Because
because
I
then
learned
after,
something new from you today. Even if somebody is pointing negativity towards my work or something like that,
sure,
I should be like, okay, wow, that means, I did
sure,
something.
absolutely. I mean,
Yes.
it's even like that, with belief, subhanallah, like
Yes.
sometimes talking to people who are, either atheist or agnostic or from a different religion, and they challenge and they say things about yours, you start to learn more about your own religion
Yes.
by
Yes.
understanding the question and trying to answer it, or by understanding their viewpoint, you understand yours more. So you should never avoid negative, or criticism, or anyone being critical. Doesn't mean you have to agree, but you can definitely take value from it.
Yes, yes. Like
Yeah,
take it in a positive way, and of course, you definitely going to think about it for 2 minutes. Like, why did he or she say like that? And then
yeah, of
at the end,
course.
you can at least come to a conclusion. uh,
Yeah, of
If I'm
course. And I
right,
think
yeah.
it's very hard sometimes, especially if someone if,
Yes,
let's say, the criticism is about you as a person, it becomes very sensitive. But
yes.
I think that's why, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he even said
Sallallahu
that,
alaihi wasallam.
not getting angry is harder than going to war. So you're controlling the the knee-jerk reaction of your emotion when someone upsets you or you feel really offended by what they've said, that quick that quick emotion that you feel, that's why they say don't react. Because the
Yes.
same way I don't like it when someone doesn't react to my music, you can win by not reacting, you know.
Yes.
But that's by you telling yourself it's just their opinion. Everyone has an opinion. It doesn't mean that everyone is right. Someone has to be wrong. Doesn't mean I'm right, but all it means is I don't have to escalate or I have to give more, you know. And I think that's the hardest thing in life. But I think when you start seeing life that way, you start to you start to take value from anything, you know, even something that people hate or they think this is, you know, why is this like this and what, just what's the value, and then the rest you don't have to take it. No one is forcing it on you. You just take what you need to take and go, you know,
Wow.
like. So yeah, it's I mean, look, I say it, I'm not the perfect
But
practitioner,
no, but you said it
but
very nicely, like silence is power, you know, just be
yes.
silent and kick it off, like whatever
Yeah,
is
I
coming
mean,
in.
my father alhamdulillah taught me that lesson because he was the silent one and I was not.
Okay, you were the opposite one.
I was the child that's like,
You
nah,
used to
nah, nah,
react
nah,
like
nah, nah.
immediately. Oh,
Oh, and then
okay.
my dad is like, and I'm done. I don't know what else to do. That's it.
Oh
I'm
my
finished. So
goodness.
yeah. So but you know, but I mean, yeah. So I think like
But it takes a
in
lot of
cases,
time, Rayan, to change such a habit of yours, which is basically your nature is like that, and you're changing for the society, you're changing for the world. It's
yeah.
very difficult, and especially when
Yeah,
you're in this.
I think, yeah, I think with age as well, I think it gets easier. I think, you know, we all learn
Yes,
that,
yes,
you know,
yes,
we
yes, yes.
when we're 18, we're not
When
the
we are
same as we
shabab,
are
it's
now.
different, and when we are like
When we're shabab, it's like I'm trying to give you emotion plus five, you know, like
exactly,
just
exactly,
take the tip, you know, like yeah.
exactly. So true,
So
so true.
yeah, so but I think with age, like I became a lot more calm about things than I used to be. I'm pretty sure if I told this to myself when I was 18, I'd be like, you know,
Yes.
but then as I got older, yeah,
Hey,
it
come
started to make
on.
more
What are you
sense.
talking? Like, you know, cute
Yeah.
off. Yes, like something like that. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, Rayan, now you're in Dubai. So you have your own academy or a school or like what? Naturally, there are so many people who would love to learn from you. You want to be a mentor, or you have special sessions for music learners who want to come down. Just say something about this, because naturally, there are
Yeah.
many people who would love to hear.
Yeah, so the first educational initiative that I did was actually with a company here called Nomad DXP. We did a music boot camp for 2 weeks. This was last November, so almost a year ago, and it was supposed to resume months ago as the second chapter or a second time, but because obviously of COVID and lockdown, it had to be canceled. But that was pardon me, that was the first time that I did something like that, because I feel very strongly about education and awareness. I think it's the biggest gift you can give,
Yes, yes,
you know,
yes.
anybody. And so, I mean, even during Corona, I've tried to still give that education, or not education, but like, you know, being transparent, giving any lessons that I've learned along the way, you know, across, whether over social media, the captions, beats, stories, but in general, I don't actually have any like any system yet for like having direct, you know, either teaching or educational or mentorship and things like that. But definitely, Nomad DXB and myself are going to be doing a lot more boot camps where we're teaching things and more important things as well, because creating music is also a lot to do with your personality. So your
Yes.
personality will show in your music, but then how do you take your music worldwide? It's a very hard thing. So a lot of the classes are about how, you know, learning production, learning how to make music, learning what is music, songwriting. But then it's the second half, which is learning the legalities. How does the law of music work? You know,
Okay.
entrepreneurship, marketing, branding, being understanding, for example, how the financial thing of it works. Where does most of your money come? How do you make it? How do you do this and how do you do that? How do you network? And then we have speakers from around the world that will give like a 1 hour Q&A, and you can speak to
Hello?
them.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes. Hmm.
Oh, sorry, can
Yeah,
you hear
yeah.
me?
No, for a
Yeah.
second. Yeah, yeah. For a second, you were still. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Then.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So and then we have like international speakers from around the world. They have like a 1 hour Q&A where the students can ask them questions, anything that they want. So that's been the best form of education that I've been a part of. And inshallah, once the COVID period is finished, that will be resuming. And I think inshallah, there's plans to open it up to all of MENA, so people from Saudi, Bahrain, Qatar, I don't well Kuwait. I don't want to miss anybody out, but yeah,
Yes, I know. All the Gulf,
they
all the
can all be
GCC, you
part.
can say, right? You know. Yeah.
GCC and MENA are more. Yeah, it's going to be
Yes.
open for
Yes.
everybody,
Yes.
but we're just now. For now, it's on pause until things become a lot easier for meeting and greeting and being
Yes,
together and
yes,
stuff. Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah.
How this has happened, Rayan? Songwriting, you're into music and then songwriting. So it was simultaneously growing within yourself, or you just started very recently?
Simultaneously, because with the band, when I was still working in the pharmaceutical company, I was in the band, but I'm also the singer and the lyricist. So I was the one writing the lyrics and singing. So as I was learning how to make music, I was learning how to write lyrics and sing and all that stuff. So when I came to doing production and I'm working with other artists, um, there's a lot of great sessions where like I tell someone you should write this and then move this here and use this word like that. And I became a lot more involved in songwriting. And um, I think that's probably half of where my excitement from music comes from, you
Yes.
know? Yeah.
Yes, yes, true, true. Because that is the basic, I think, right? When you
Yeah.
write and then automatically. So, for an example, like say, like me, I want to take my example in front of you. Like I write, I love writing. I'm passionate about it.
Hmm.
Poetry. So, if I give you lyrics, like if I say, Rayan, can you compose it? So, how the process goes by? Can you just shed a light on this?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways to doing this. Like one of the ways definitely is if somebody has lyrics already written and then they want to make music out of it. Um, Sometimes when you do enough music to a certain point, you understand that if you play certain chords certain ways, it releases a certain emotion or feeling from a person. So when you read the lyrics, what you would do is you would analyze like what is the overall theme. Are we going with happiness? Are we going with sadness?
And oh,
Is the person singing the song? Are they the person talking about someone, for example, suffering, or are they the sufferers? Are they the antagonist or the protagonist? Are they like understanding every theme of what the lyrics are, and then also understanding what you don't want it to sound like and have
wow.
process of elimination. So if someone says it is sad, but I don't want it to be like gloomy, and I don't want it to be down tempo and so okay, so we know we don't want that. And then you start eliminating, and then you're only left with about two, three, four options of directions you can go. So if someone says I want a sad song, but I want the music to be upbeat because I want the person to feel like they can overcome the sadness, then you're like, okay, so we already the speed of the song has to be a certain speed. So in that speed, it should be more up tempo. Then you have to play different chords, and then you have to. So you start working your way into it,
Oh, wow.
and then some. And there are very talented musicians and very talented singers that they will know. Like for example, it's a very happy song. I'm gonna sing it in D major because they know that this key or this progression is really good for making people feel happier. Or so there is technical and science behind it, but it always starts in the beginning. Let's understand what's the basic, without the words, what's the basic thing, I think they even do that with movies and films, because
Yes, yes.
yeah, like if there's a movie about, I think like a great example I always use is like I don't know if you know the movie Interstellar about space. And
Yes, yes,
um,
yes.
so a lot of people, they think the movie is about space and about
Yes.
NASA and time travel. Actually, the movie is about a father making a promise to a daughter that he will come back. The packaging is space, but the movie is about will he come back.
Wow.
So, and when movie guys, that directors and movie makers and producers and film do that, they're like, what is the core story? Because we can make a movie about space, but no one will stay for 3 hours
Yes, yes,
if there's no story.
yes,
But
of
the
course.
story has to be so simple that within 20-30 minutes, I'm invested. I want to know, how does this finish?
Yes,
So it's the same with songwriting. So if you gave me the lyrics, I would want to understand what's the core, what's holding all the words together, what's the core idea, you know? And sometimes you'll read lyrics and you can see, like, you'll know straight away when someone writes lyrics,
yes.
there's no core
Automatically.
idea. Yeah,
Yes,
you're like,
yes,
there's
yes.
no core idea. So you have to start asking, is it about this? No. And then you'll feel, then you're like, okay, I think we should rewrite some things because that idea is nicer than what you have, and
Yes,
then it starts to work. So, and
yes.
sometimes a good song is not a very good poem, and sometimes a very bad poem is a really good song. So,
Yes.
so
Very
it,
nice
it can work both
explanation.
ways.
Yes, true, true. Very great. So are you open to live concerts? You do that? I mean, do you like it?
Yeah, I've played in multiple countries. I've toured for a little bit. I've played like guitar and bass, and even but I was DJing a little bit for a couple of artists here and there. So yeah, I have done that before. It's not my one of my main things that I do, only because I feel like my strength is better in the studio rather than always being like,
Yes, yes, yes,
playing,
yes. True,
So
true,
yeah.
true. Yes, true. It was lovely talking to you. I don't want to end up the session, but it's almost like 46 minutes now.
That's
I,
fine.
it's
Thank you
so
so
nice.
much.
No, seriously. But before leaving, Rayan,
Mhm.
a message from your side or anything which
Oh,
will add value to my session, to my channel?
sure. I would say that I would say the biggest message that I could have for anyone listening to this would be that it's very belief, whether in yourself, whether in a higher being, whether in your music, whatever it is, belief is a very, very, very um, proud thing to keep. It's very hard to keep because you will always face a lot of doubt. You'll also face a lot of people with criticism. You will always face people telling you that it's not possible. And um, the longer, whether it's one extra day that you believe in yourself, or you have your belief in something or whoever, one extra day of belief makes you stronger. And every day that you keep that belief and keep your beliefs makes you stronger. So never give it up, because it's actually your superpower, no matter what you want to do, whether it's being a journalist, being a musician, being a scientist. If you believe in it, that's the fuel that you need to go all the way. You
Wow.
don't need anything else.
Wow, superb. That was simply amazing. Viewers, I
Thank you,
believe I've,
Amina. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
my pleasure, my dear. Viewers, I believe I've done the best choice calling Rayan all the way from Dubai. And trust me, I'm so super excited because I've been to Dubai many a times. And this time I'm going to make sure I'm going to meet this chap once I land up in
Oh,
Dubai for
absolutely.
sure,
You're more
definitely.
than welcome.
Yes. And don't forget to tune in for his Beat Labs. It's just amazing on Instagram. It's super work from his site. Phenomenal. Really. I mean, every beat, you can feel it within your soul because I did that myself. And after getting long awaited, I finally got him on board. I wish him success, prosperity, and my loads of love to your family, Rayan, and keep yourself safe. And as Rayan has said, believe in yourself. And that's the best part I can say. What he has concluded everything. The session was simply amazing. And each and every part from his side, so nicely and so well balanced way, he has conveyed so many messages. I am sure viewers definitely would gonna love this interview of Rayan Bailouni from all the way Dubai, but he is actually a British national. Don't forget that. He has got the genes in him and plus Syrian blood as well. So that heritage is still growing and proving what best he can do from his side. I wish him success again. And thank you so much, Rian, wholeheartedly. I'm really
Thank
sorry
you,
for taking
Amrina.
so much long time
No,
from
thank
your
you
side.
so much. God bless your family. My same, the feelings are completely mutual. Thank you so much for having me on and
Thank
being
you.
such a
Thank
great
you.
host. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thank you so
Sending you my
much.
love and health and best wishes to you and all your loved ones, inshallah.
Ameen, Ya Rab.
And
Thank you.
inshallah, it won't be the last time we speak, inshallah.
Yes, inshallah. We will definitely get in touch again. Assalamu alaikum. Thank
Assalamu
you.
alaikum. Thank you